Hey guys, it's Erin, and we are back with another mixed media menagerie. As you know, this is a collaboration with Laura, Nicole, and myself, where each month we use an amazingly strange collection of things to create our journal spreads. This month is sponsored by the amazing Peacecraft Love Arts and Craftsy shop based out of Houston, Texas, and they were so kind to send us a couple of amazing goodies to use in this month's video. They've also offered a wonderful discount for you all, which I will tell you about at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. This month's theme was warm colors and some sunshine. We're going to play with watercolors, so I'm really excited, and then also to play with that resist. But first, let's dive in to see what the drop from Laura is going to give us. Oh my gosh, look at all this amazing goodies. A little thing here, look at little dots, chipboard pieces, flowers. My brain is already thinking, like, how do I want to utilize some of this stuff? Now let's dive into all of this. Now these packets, y'all, if you play with us and you post using the hashtag over on Instagram, you are entered into a drawing to win the next month's packet. So every month we have this drawing, and then if we have sponsors, you win a little goodie from them as well. So you definitely want to play along with us. So I'm going to keep going through all of this stuff here. She totally filled the packet this month. There is so much goodness. I know I'm not even going to use half of this, but I am so excited to have some of this. Ooh, look, she even made some handmade papers. Oh, I love that. It's got a shimmer. I'm going to have to ask her what paints those were. These are some fun papers. They've got blues on the other side. So lots and lots of stuff to play with. I am going to jump over and grab my Dina Wakley Blue Media Journal, and I'll meet you back here in a second. All right, so I got my journal here. Let's open it up. I don't know what this journal, I don't know, y'all. I'm not a big fan of this journal. I don't know what happened in that middle there, but well, we'll just have to work around it. So the first thing I'm going to play with is this Watercolor Resist. I'm so excited about this. It says create watercolor resist effects, use on paper, wood, canvas, fabric for decorative purposes only. So just apply generously to prepared surface and let air dry. Resist dries clear and permanent. So this will be super exciting and fun to play with. I'm going to break out my Crackle stencil here, and then look at this stuff. It's kind of thick, so this is interesting. It's sort of gluish. It has a really funky smell. I will definitely tell you that. It does kind of have a weird smell, but I'm just going to push it through my stencil here with a makeup sponge. Try and do my best in this crack. I just sort of want to have it kind of cascading across both of the pages. So there's that, and then I'm going to carefully, without trying to smudge too much, add it onto the other page. So we'll just speed that up a little bit here. I think probably the hardest thing that is going to be about using this product for me is letting it air dry. Ain't nobody got time for that, but we are going to let it air dry like it said. I'm just adding a little bit more here and there so we kind of have that fun cascade effect. And now I'm going to step away. I'm going to wash this really good because it's super sticky and I don't want the glue on my stencil, but we'll be back once it's dry. And we're back. It is dry. It has a really cool texture. You can't even see it's there. I also took some white gesso and went into that crack because I didn't want it to leak onto the other pages, but also it kind of masks that weird looking ripped paper glue effect. I don't know what's going on with this, y'all. This book, I'm ready to be done with it. But okay, so on to the colors. Peacecraft Love was gracious enough to give us 3 colors of Hero Arts liquid watercolors. So I'm going to play with those, and then I'm also going to bring in some Durant watercolors as well, just to bring in some more vibrancy in those yellows around the outside. So I'm just going to throw on some music here and play, and you can see how amazing this paint just kind of goes into the Watercolor Resist, those crackles. Oh, I'm loving it. our prompts this month. So I have this sea salt here, and I'm going to go ahead and drop that into the wet areas, and then take some more of the color and drop it around it. Just to give it a little bit more water. And then of course, once that's done, it has to air dry again. So as you can imagine, this page took a little bit longer, you know, between those drying periods, but it was nice to step away and then come back and see the really cool results that you get. While that's drying, I'm going to work on some more of the page elements. Laura gave us this really cool scripty paper, and it kind of has this waxy sort of feel on top of it, shiny, but the Distress inks take the color really well onto this paper, whatever it is. So I have the 3 colors that were given to us this month to play with. So there's like a yellow, a reddish, and an orange, and I will put all of the colors that I use today down in the description box below, so if you're interested, that is where you can find it. So I'm just coloring this up a little bit so it matches the page, and just dotting a little bit of that red in there. Almost kind of gives it like a very pastel-y sort of fire feel. Now I have these tags and all of the wonderful ephemera pieces that Laura gave us, and I just want to start ripping some of them up. I'm feeling circular, so I'm just ripping them up here and playing out well, you know, it's all play, but testing out how I want them to lay. I was going with sort of a sun vibe, and then it started to look more like a flower, so that is what I'm just going to continue testing out here, and then you'll see me just grab a bit of glue to stick them down, so that way I don't have to worry about those little bits. But yeah, that's what I'm doing here. As I was putting these pieces together, I spied the chipboard flower off to the side, and I thought that would make a really cool focal piece as well, kind of layered on top of that, but I didn't like the craft, and so I thought, what would be a great sunshiny color? Oh, of course, Daniel Smith Gold Gesso, one of my favorites, and it's going to give us a little bit of that shimmer onto the page. So I'm just going to paint this up. I'm only doing one side here, but some of the paint did leak through to the other side, so you'll see me flipping it around, but I'm going to go ahead and paint that up, and then we'll set that off to the side and dry. And I thought, I haven't sewed for a while, so I'm going to grab our fun little floral piece and go sew that up. Alright, so I'm going to take the salt off here, and look at that. That was such a great texture there. Let's wipe this all up. Oh, I'm loving how this turned out. It's got, oh goodness, this is awesome. Okay, I'm going to take a little bowl here, and I'm going to save this salt, and we can use it for next time. So get that out of the way. And then look at this. Look at how it dried around the salt. Oh, so good. I'm so excited I dipped those darker colors into the salt as well, because it gave it a great feel. So there's our main focal. And now I'm going to rip these little script pages, and I think I'm going to sort of string them across from one side of the spread to the other. So that is what you're going to see me doing here, and then I'll grab some glue stick and we will glue that, and then also some napkin bits as well to kind of cover up that center area. So that's all glued down, and I wanted to kind of brighten up a little bit of the yellows there, and I was going to use the Distress ink, and then, oh my gosh, it was really peeling up the paper. It was like peeling. I hate this paper, but I'm going to push through. I'm going to keep pushing through. So now I'm just dabbing. I'm sort of pushing it in there just to brighten up a little bit of that yellow band that's on the outside there, and then I will get back to gluing on that script paper. Well, you know I love a good rub-on, but this paper apparently does not agree with rub-ons when it's just the straight up paper. Now maybe if it had been like clear gessoed or plain gessoed beforehand, it might have stuck, but I don't know what. I was so frustrated, I had my angry hands out. So finally I just scrapped the whole idea and decided to go with some of the sticky dots. And even then, some of them did not stick, so I had to use some glue. And, you know, just getting thwarted left and right, but we're still pushing through because that's what we do. We just kind of roll with it, and, you know, I liked how the dots looked in the end, and that's all that matters. Then to add a little sparkle, I grabbed some Lindy's ink sprays. It's a red, and just added some little splatters here to kind of give a little bit more of a lovely feel, and thread. I have not used thread in a while, and I love just having that little nested thread peeking out from the focal element, so I'm adding that here, and then I'll just use that Aleene's tacky glue there to glue it down. So let's just kind of tuck that in there. I'm going to add a bowl on top of it, and then the last element was a pen. So I grabbed, well, okay, after I glue this little bit down, sometimes these little pieces, I tell you. Let me just push it in there. All right, okay. Now we're good. Now I'm going to break out my pen here. This is not a waterproof pen, so this is like one of the last steps, or else it would run everywhere. And I'm just going to draw around a couple of these little resist bits just to add some interest. And I'm just going to go through the rest of the page. And then while I have those pastels, I thought, why not add a little bit of pastel around the edges to define them a little bit. So I'm going to do that as well. cute to add a little bit of an element to the center of the flower, and there was another little flower that was off to the side. So I'm just going to glue that into the center there, and it kind of matches that darker paper and the dots, so I loved that. And then I was going to take a little bit of the pen and draw almost like threading onto this flower to kind of bring it into it. And then the camera shut off, of course, as always. So here is my finished piece. As you can see, I went ahead and I drew around the flower just with some of that pen to make it look like stitching. I went ahead and drew a border around the entire spread to kind of give it that finished feel, and that is going to finish today's page. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out both Laura and Nicole's channels to see how they use this month's prompts to create their journal spread. And also a big thank you to Peacecraft Love for sponsoring this month's video and extending a little discount to you guys. So be sure to check them out when you need to grab some more of your arts and craftsy goodies. And don't forget to use the hashtag Mixed Media Menagerie over on Instagram for your chance to be entered into the drawing to win yourself a surprise ephemera pack and maybe even a little goodie or two from a sponsor. Thank you guys again, and until next time, happy creating.